Okay. There we go. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Arknights video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I don't have a computer strong enough to be able to video record and play a game at the same time. So today we're going to be recording through the phone. I'm outside, so you might hear a lot of things like wind or passing cars and whatnot. You get to also see the beloved Phantom that you don't normally get to see. Yeah, he's enjoying being outside. And, a lot to mention when it comes to Arknights here. So, a few things to note. This was the quality of life update. I don't remember if this was supposed to be later on, I believe, or earlier. I can't remember now exactly when certain things are supposed to happen. I think we're getting the quality of life earlier. So, we have the increased sanity cost, some base updates, and something that I don't know if was a really good idea is not on the quality side of things, but something that I don't think most people really mention or talk about, and I feel like it's been kind of on the back burner a lot, is the fact of Yostar forcing changes on accounts. It's something that they've been talking about for some time, and it's been months. And a lot of people have been talking about it. I personally didn't have much of an issue, but I thought it was kind of redundant for the most part. And I think it's just more of Yostar's trying to power grab and forcing people into its ecosystem, similar to how Hoyoverse is. And they also retroactively destroyed the idea of having multiple accounts. So if you were like me, in the past I had multiple accounts with different ways to connect it. So for example, the normal one's connected to my Gmail, but I also had a Facebook one where I did, at the time, a new account just to see how things went. This was like many years ago, by the way. Around the time Mansfield Break first released, just to kind of get an idea of when that was. And around that time, it was just something to do on the side and use characters I never really used before. Doesn't really matter much any days anyway, because I just use whoever the fuck I want to use, and that a lot of time means I end up using characters I don't tend to use from time to time. Regardless on that. So yeah. So that account is completely dead. It's gone. They deleted that account. If you don't know, if you do not link your account to a Yostar account, essentially all those accounts, and thank you, phone, are deleted. They're just straight up deleted. If you did not link your account to a Yostar account, it pretty much was deleted. This is something that I saw about last week, I think, or a couple of days. I can't remember now. I think it's a couple of days. They pretty much had like a notification in the game that said, hey, if you did not link anything to a Yostar account, for example, you can only have one account linked to a Yostar account, those other accounts will just straight up be nuked off the face of the planet, essentially. And I feel like this is something that some people probably will get a rude awakening. And I feel like it's something to mention, to note. And of course, I wasn't able to talk about it until now. Could have mentioned it in the update video, but it wasn't like specifically an Arknights video. It was just an update for the channel, of course. So yeah, that's something that happened. I'll let you guys know, obviously, just now. I think it's really important to note. Can you stop playing with me? Seriously, can you stop? He wants attention, I think. Ouch! Fuck, man. Yeah. Bro, seriously. Chill. God damn. Okay. Got me good there. We got scared. Which is what happens, you silly. Anyway. So, that important announcement out of the way. We'll see. I probably should. Yeah. kitty. But yeah, this kitty loves me. He just probably really good though. I really should go. But at this point, I'm basically I don't want to go inside, but fuck it. Okay, so aside from that, let's get into the game, shall we? So we have the normal banner. Oh, I forgot to mention. This is where things are gonna get a little weird because let's just say that so this is a flip phone, for example. That's what I have right now. I'm not gonna be able to really go through these screens that well because the middle of the screen is just completely unusable. So I'm gonna try my best here. I can't really go through everything here, but I might as well kind of go over some things because it's just like I already know what we got in this update. You're an outdoor kitty. Okay. So first things first, the Vina, aka the Siege Altar. I did not mean to do that. Okay, thank you, phone. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, that's the okay. Cool. Anyway, so Siege Altar. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Let's be real here. Like, unless you need AoE true damage or multi-hit true damage, you do not need her. But since now there is essentially talk of pretty much comparisons between her and a certain new character for episode 15 that I won't go into because it's spoiler territory, unless I was streaming, of course. Those two are pretty much being compared too heavily. I think each one has their own strengths over the other, and I don't think it's really fair to try to compare the two. This is kind of the issue all the time, is that people like to compare things, but in reality, pointless. Completely and utterly pointless. Because they're going to have at least some strength over the other, and you'd use one of the two for something else. And so that's my 2 cents into that. But people are going to do that anyway. And for those that are curious, he did a good number on me. That's just the worst of it. Still kind of bleeding, but that's why I went in here to wash my hands. Again, I wasn't planning on doing that, but it's just something you gotta be careful of with cats. Okay. I'm gonna quickly do this small thing here, and then I'll be back outside. We'll continue on. I will probably do a 10 pull, but that's probably gonna be it. And I will be doing the event stages, probably no 6 stars. Okay. No, that's not gonna work. At the very end of the day, I wish this was a live stream, but it's just not the way it is. That's not really great. I guess I'm just gonna have to do this. Anyway, yeah. So, aside from that, I think that's kind of the general gist. Can you please stop that phone? Is that I'll probably just do a 10 full. And then we'll do event stages. Now, I'll kind of get into the EX a little bit, because I feel like EX is a good example of hyperglyphs need to make things difficult. I'm not a big fan of the last EX stage. I've kind of gotten spoiled a little bit of this boss, but not fully. Mostly just the fact that Steam Nights are a feature, and there's a lot of them. And then they decided to bring the episode 11 boss, which, if you don't know, that's my least favorite boss in Arc 2. I do not like the Steam Night boss at all. So, that's why I don't know how I'm going to feel about EX stages, but that's gotta be brutally honest. I don't know how I'm gonna go about EX stages anyway. I don't know if this is gonna be something I continue doing, or if this is just going to be a one and done thing, you know. I'm already wasting so much time because of a certain cat. Tuxedo cats, man. You went a little too rough there, you know that? Anyway, so we have the Rich Fest character skins. Didn't realize this was when the Blaze skin came out, because I know it's like the Blaze skin, out of all the newest skins, look like the best one, or one of the better ones. In terms of animation looks, I think it was really well done. I think it's supposed to be a reference to Lollipop Chainsaw, but I could also be completely incorrect in that. Of course, we have the Degenbrecher skin, the Popcore skin, and whatnot. Honestly, I don't know if I'm really going to go for the Degenbrecher skin, but maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. But for the most part, I'll probably go for the Blaze skin. And I'm going to have to move this down. Probably. Yeah, there we go, thank you. Let's just look at normal stuff, gotcha. Okay. 5 more Raging Knights. By the way, I have a crap ton of stuff reeling and waiting to summon. So for those that are unaware, that's what I've been doing. You might be thinking, did you summon for the collab? No. I did not even touch the collab. But even at one point, because I wasn't able to stream, I wanted to see if people really wanted me to use at least the freebies. No one said shit. It's like what happens when I'm on commission and everyone's just like, oh, well, I will be back, I guess, type of mentality. I mean, they're still there. It's just people like the live streams more. Regardless. So yeah, I did not touch anything when it came to the collab. I was truthful to that, aside from the free summons, which even then, again, was mostly for the people that wanted me to do it, just because I was able to do anything content-wise, and that's not the case. So here we are, with a lot more summons to our name. I'm gonna have to do this. And, yeah, I don't think there's really much else to note. We're just gonna be, I guess we'll do 110 pull. I haven't touched that in ages. And I know there's other characters, too. I cannot say anything about bobbing. I can't remember shit of what he's good for. And then we have, Grandmother of Fuckboy, which at the same time I can't really say much. One of those, like, there's a lot of characters that they're deciding to release that are kind of interesting, and I'm kind of like, I don't really care that much about certain characters. I don't know about other people, but certain characters like Potlid's Guardian, for example, for episode 15 release, I'm like, cool, I guess. I'm not certain why she wasn't released with Potlid, but okay. It's just that sort of stuff. It's like, I don't really care too much, compared to other characters that are waiting longer time. And I have ideas of how to do certain things that if there's another survey I will mention or do that I think would be kind of interesting. Given the fact that I'm not able to stream, there's a lot of these ideas that I can't really say or ask or like talk about. For example, one of them being focusing on on the idea of having a character that is related to Frost Nova being playable, and they can make that as like a main event. And they can do a lot. Like I have so many ideas evolving around that. That could essentially be a big limited banner that has Tula playable. But Frost Nova had family, but we didn't know that because she got her empathy and she got kicked out type of deal. Which is actually a very possible thing they could do, by the way. Ouch! Seriously. I'm not here to play. I understand. Hey, stop. You're just being a nuisance. Well, he's thinking I'm trying to play with him because I'm moving my hands here. That's what I do when I do in the stream. And he's like, "Oh, it's trying to grab you to play." And it's like, no, it's not time to play. Anyway, let's continue on here. There's like a lot of other things that I've thought about too of what they could do that could circumvent certain things. I think the Frost Nova one is a very likely possibility that I could see them doing at some point. Just given the fact that a lot of people really want Frost Nova to be playable, even though they're very, very strict on if they die, they're not playable, which also brings into the fact of certain characters are not considered dead, but a lot of people think they're dead, but they never actually made them dead, or they haven't say they died. There's a lot of characters in the story that's essentially for. That ties into that. And I think it's kind of sad, really, that we're in this position. There's like a decent amount of characters that people think are dead, or the main consensus, but for those that are actually paying attention and know what they're trying to get at, they're not dead. Or it's just like, it's kind of hard to figure out what they're even trying to mean by it. Like, I think an example is Manticore. I know a lot of people want Manticore to be playable. She's in that weird scenario where wasn't shown to die, and there's a lot of rumors that like certain characters said that she died, but reading through episode 14, I never saw anything like that. So again, it's one of those things that it's like maybe unless later on that might change, because I haven't read. I don't read ahead. I just read as it comes, okay? So, to me, Mandragora is in that weird spot where she's not confirmed to be dead, but she's not confirmed to be alive either. And this happens to several characters, and it's just like one of those weird situations of why they do this. Why go out of your way to make it a gray area even if they lived or died? I think it's kind of lazy. I want to say lazy. I mean, unless they bring them back in a way, but the issue is that they don't. Like there's multiple characters that are in this that they could, but they didn't, except for one. There's only one, but technically that character is now dead, even though he's supposed to be immortal. It's just hypergriff. The example I'm referring to is Dracula, or whatever they have it as in-game name for the second watch leader, the vampire dude, the episode 13 boss. Pretty much, didn't die, he's immortal, but then he's like, yo, he's now dead in episode 14. It's like, really? How did he die? He's supposed to be immortal. Like, he's literally the most immortal character in the fucking story. like second most. I would say the clone dudes. The domestic, the fuck, I can't remember the name pronunciation right, but those are the most like immortal character, tied with, of course, spoilers here, Kelsey, Doctor, but then you have the Kula dude who's in second, and it's kind of like the way they made him out to be kind of straight up immortal with the powers he had. And to the point where, like, multiple strong deities that are extremely powerful in their own right could barely do much against him. And they had to put him into, like, a different dimension ocean. So how the fuck is he dead? It's just stuff like that, that it's like, when you think about it, it's kind of like plot hole related, and it's like, you really gonna do a better job by trying to kill the character? Like, you really made this character be so powerful, and then fail to properly get an explanation of how they would die. And I think it's still one of those, that's a good example, if I'm talking about this gray area, of characters being alive and dead. And then just kind of fucking throwing that to the side with at least him. He's one of the only examples where he's like, oh, he's dead, but he's back because story crazy relevance. And I feel like they have yet to do that for these other characters, that I feel like are going to be important later on. What was the point of the character to begin with? Or I could see them bringing them back. And there's one character that a lot of the fan base hates that I think will come back. Assuming that retcons, they retcon the entire thing for Arc Knight's Infield. I ranted about it before. Aroma again. This is like the fourth Aroma I've gone, by the way. I've gone like one or two more for off-stream from the summons I've done off-stream. So she's stalking me right now. Anyway, I won't say the character, so I don't want to have it as a main focus of the video, but I think it's a something that could happen. And then if you watched the last Infield live stream discussion streams I've did, you'll know who I'm talking about. And I personally think certain characters will be alive, the ones you won't expect, just because they didn't really kill them off. And a lot of people will assume, oh yeah, they're dead. A lot of these characters, unless they specifically stated or shown that they died, a lot of the time expect them not to be dead. And that's happened to characters that have been playable later on, like Innes, for example. And this is a good example of that, by the way. Another good example, actually, I'm thinking about it now, of a character that people thought died, which for smart people, they realize, oh, she's not dead, what the fuck are you guys getting at? And then she comes back and people are surprised. Pikachu's surprise face, and it's like, that's not really a surprise. And it kind of shows you the illiteracy when it comes to kind of getting certain details of what they're trying to get at. And it could also be a problem with the translation too. That is another possibility, because there is some translation issues when it comes to certain languages, what Hyperdrive has done for certain story bits. And then being like, because of like different Chinese languages, like the simplified, but it's like, I can't remember which version, and translation issues because of that completely changes the way you would think about certain interactions. And it's a tricky thing to deal with. Well, that's that. I'm sorry, guys. If you're expecting more with that's it. Like, maybe I'll go for more. I mean, I am currently stacked. I have enough that I know I can go over 300 easily in summons. So, we'll see. Now, I didn't realize there was actually a video I was gonna play. Because the feeling that they went with this is that this was supposed to be like another episode, but they decided not to. So they just made it to a side story. And I think this is kind of what they did with this event. So I was not expecting it to be a cutscene or a trailer. So this kind of makes me feel like this is supposed to be a lot more important. And it's supposed to be like a main story part, but which is, I think, pretty much at this point, when it comes to the main story, I think they kind of just fucked over the ending of episode 14. I'm gonna kind of briefly explain that here. I won't go over the story because I won't read it on video. I'll just do the stages, but I'll kind of give into my thoughts on the end of episode 14, as things have changed greatly in the release of episode 15. I don't know what the story is for episode 15, but given what I know little of, let's just say I'm not a big fan of what they did with episode 14 at the end. Okay. So, I think this is the perfect time to talk about that now. So, it's very obvious that they were doing side event stories for certain characters. You have a Blana, and all that shit. And it's just like, you would think that they would instead actually do episode 15. But it was very obvious after a certain point that the episode 15 was going to be a new act. What I didn't think was they were just going to completely ignore what they did at the very end of episode 14, all the leftover things, and just shove it to other places, and you just have to figure out the pieces and put them together. Essentially, you just have to figure out the puzzle pieces and put them together. And they're just going to skip into a different entire arc, and just completely ignore a lot of things. At least that's what it seems like to me. Granted, episode 15's not out. It's going to be out in 6 months, and maybe I'll be wrong on certain things, because I'm being completely blind here, so I'm trying not to spoil myself. But so far, from what I've seen, it seems like they've completely ignored how they ended up saying, and they just shoved that to the side stuff that I feel like could have continued onwards. And I feel like that's really disappointing. I think I understand what they're trying to get at, and it kind of seems like they might be going the realm of what's happening like right now in Solo Leveling. I know I'm bringing up something completely different, but I think Solo Leveling is a good example of like where Season 2 is, and how Season 2 is actually, spoiler alert, actually a build-up for Season 3. Or is that, no, fuck. I think that's actually the wrong anime I'm thinking of. I think that's a good, I think that might be a good example still, though. Fuck. I was thinking of different, okay, I'm mixing animes here, fuck. Anyway. There's an, fuck. Anyway. I literally had like an idea of like, there's a, and the other one I'm thinking of that I just realized that is, oh, that's the one I'm talking about, is actually ReZero. ReZero is actually the one that I've been thinking about. That was the one I was wanting to say. But I think Solo Leveling still gets the point, but pretty much Act 2 could just literally be a setup act. Now, if that was their intention all along, don't know how I feel about it. That would just mean that the Act 3 would be a lot bigger and grander in scope. Which it could be. I don't know. I really don't know, because I'm not reading ahead, I'm not looking at spoilers. So, just from what I know, though, because YouTube, just from like brief bits, I'm like, okay, it seems like they're throwing shit to the side, or they're throwing shit of the major last of the bits of last of the story that should have happened after episode 14 and put it inside as events. Which, in terms of like an anime side of things, think of this as like an anime-only experience, how disjarring that's going to be, and how much work you'd have to put into with that. I think that's something that a lot of people are not have to think about, or are not thinking about, that they should. Yeah, again, this is me being very critical of the anime too, because I think they've done a lot of not so great stuff with the anime. I think they did a lot of good stuff, but I think they've also done a lot of things they could have done a lot better job of. Anyway. Let's actually get into stuff here. I know, this is the reason why I should be streaming, because I talk a lot. But, that's not how things are. So we're just gonna get into it here. Talk with her fists. I don't think they can really show me much here. We'll just go with that team. Sure. And I'll adjust according, depending upon the scenario at hand. No clue. The Nova's junk man is a good student who ekes out a living in the ruins, can equip gear. No clue on the whole gear thing. I could probably just leave it like this and I'll probably win. And this is kind of the issue with the fact that the middle screen doesn't work, is that it completely cancels out the character after I go halfway. Goggles Gang Thief, a young worker who joined a gang after the factory stopped, can equip gear after several attacks. There's up for attack that also steals gear equipped by operators. Okay. So, this might be one of those things where I have to probably switch to a different screen rotation. I'll probably continue playing until I can't actually finish a stage because I can't actually, like, move. I'm assuming they're talking about modules, which I think is an interesting mechanic, that they're able to steal modules. That's what I'm assuming, unless it's actually a different mechanic entirely. Yep.
That was a perfect operation. Once we're back, dinner will taste even better.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So the system currency looks similar to the relics of that are in IS. The streets are not safe after dark. There are no links that someone will not go to, just for some canned food or medicine. Munitions factory command center. When skills activated, begins malfunctioning equipment and becomes the endpoint of all freight cars. Once SP gauge is full, deploys random equipment on assigning 8 low ground and deployable high ground. Okay. So it's a different entire mechanic. I thought it was going to be evolved around modules, which would have been actually really interesting to see. Venus says the streets have been recently really restless lately. Prying eyes have been chasing the freight cars. And I can't see because of the camera. They're just street thugs, no big threat here. But if they rob the freight cars and get their hands on some new gear, they become a nuisance. We should secure the equipment. I'm guessing equipment should come in handy. We just deploy operators on some plates as the equipment, and then we'll be able to use it. Quick blades will increase your attack. I'm guessing protective vests will increase your defense. The assault arts unit. Operatives can temporarily frighten enemies after using their arts, dealing arts damage. However, if these bandits get their hands on the equipment, they'll be able to use it. We can't let that happen. Enemies may look harmless, but they put on equipment they no longer so easily dispatched. Enemies are frightened, their equipment will take more damage, i.e. they'll be easier to defeat. We can use this to our advantage. We were able to recover all the equipment in time. Stay sharp and prepare for battle. Mao. Oh, so okay. So some of them equipped the changes the sword, it has a shield, and okay, so it's only for like a few hits. Okay. Damn it, my energy is nearly spent. He's got an assault arts unit. Stay focused. If we can get him, drop his gun, it'll be in better shape. So will it just disappear after a certain amount of swacks? This is a little tiring. The enemy is wearing a protective vest. It'll be hard to defeat him with the frontal assault. Okay, give it a try. Uh-oh, I was focused on taking down these enemies that let us get ambushed. Something about it, Morgan. If the freight cars get wrecked, our gear is going to be scattered all over the streets. Well, I can't do anything, so... We need to activate the Munifictions Factory Command Center to reroute the rail. By guiding the freight cars toward the command center, we'll be able to protect them. I should get moving too. Okay, so that's that they do a hook. Okay.
Mission accomplished.
Okay.
Doctor, want to celebrate the Glasgow way? First, me and Hannah
So
then we shut our eyes, and then we
can't say much about the mechanics so far.
Hey, no need to run, love. I'm just joking.
Skip. Also, 80 sanity means you can do a lot more stuff now, which, I mean, cool. It does.
You people, I don't think I'll even remember
Unblock
your
what can be
faces
typed by
after
name job
this
scan
one.
the process.
Anyway, let's just get started.
I can't actually select anything in the middle, so I cannot use the skill.
Solid positioning.
So I can't actually use Myrtle right now. I'm literally trying my best to tap her. There we go. Yeah, you see the issue here? I might not be actually able to play this. There we go. I don't see the point, especially if it like goes away after a certain point. Okay, Neighborhood Watch member. A member of the illegal organization formed by concerned citizens can equip gear. When equipped, defense increases after several attacks, charges up for an attack that deals splash damage. Oh, lovely. I'm trying. That's not. I guess we're just gonna leave this like this. Okay. Showcases the Phantom. Don't climb that tree. Skip.
Please guide these lost souls to peaceful enlightenment.
Okay, this might be another one of those impossible ones, because the blue tiles are at the very top of the screen. I might just straight up switch to a different scale, or essentially go to the other screen. You know, I'll do that right now. Actually, I won't be able to do that. Ooh.
I'm here to help.
I did it! Yay! What was my battery? 29%. There you go.
Arbor, reach your hands to me.
That's what I assumed was gonna happen.
Almost done.
Okay. We'll probably do this like a multi-episode thing because, battery-wise, I'm doing other things.
Mission accomplished.
Yep. Okay, because evolved by speed of speech, there's some smarts than we were. Okay. More enemies that we're gonna have to deal with. Alcohol and whatever that said. Placebo. That's what I thought it said, but... Transport vessel. Aerial. Well-equipped transport relying on superior firepower to protect its cargo. It deals a large amount of physical damage to all units in a fixed range when defeated and drops random gear. I don't think gears are that great on the surface. I feel like they don't bring as much of a punch that you probably need. Come on. Fuck. I'm not gonna be able to. The game's not allowing me to. Okay then. Just a sec, everyone. Well, actually, I'd say that. I'm gonna stop it here for now. I think that'd be a perfect time to end it. A lot more talking than I need to be, but it's just what it is. Okay. We can go for one more attempt. And that'll probably be it. I thought I was going to end it off there, but it's actually a lot more intuitive. The biggest issue is going to be trying to get to that blue square. Because it does not want to go further past that. There we go. I guess that's just how it's going to be. Like I said, that's how finicky it is. Oh, destroys the... okay. I didn't think it would go all the way around. Thank you, game. Jeez, that's a lot of damage. Those are going to be the biggest threat. I'm still gonna lose, probably because of the...
Show me what you got there.
That works. Yeah, yep, 100%. Those are gonna be the most dangerous enemy, because those flying foes. Destroying someone that's also in camouflage, because it's technically like AOE, not so much specifically targeting her. Okay.
And there will be one day
that's probably going to be it for today's episode anyway. I am going to probably do another one here in the near future, but before we do that,
Hello, Doctor.
because we're kind of running out of battery here, we'll do one more 10 pull to end off the stream here. The stream. I don't know why I'm saying stream. Video. Another 5-star. That doesn't tend to happen. TJ and... I mean, I say that. Chances are a lot more likely than a 6-star, but... If I did another 10 pull, I probably would actually get the... I probably would have get Vina or a random 6-star. That's just the feel I get. Okay. What is a on-manner 5-star? I'm gonna say this right now. My luck when it comes to 5 stars is a lot rarer to get than 6 stars. Let's just say that. So I'm not really surprised that we haven't gotten the main 6-star or any of the 2 main 6 stars with Celia or Bobbing yet. That's just my luck. I probably would get Vina in the next 10 full, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So I am going to end it here. If you guys enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, follow. Stream Lows, Discord to do, please go check it out. And of course, let me know how it is, how you guys feel about this way of recording. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. See you guys later. Peace. Yes, I get it, phone.